you guys were wondering my favorite time of the day, it's lunchtime. And with Factor's fresh, never frozen meals, they make it easier than ever. Ready in just 2 minutes. Let me show you how it's done. Poke a few holes, roasted garlic braised beef, my favorite. How they know? Let's pop it in there. 2 minutes, you know my line. Set it and forget it. Next thing you do after you heat it up is eat it up. We got a stack of these. We're gonna heat them up for the guys. Everybody chose what they want. This one's for Jim. Let's heat them up and get everybody else fed. The meals are all heated up. Bring them out to the boys. It's chow time.
Food time.
Down at the shop, it's safe to say we're a busy group of guys. With Factor's fresh, never frozen meals, we're able to keep the team fed and cut down on those unhealthy choices during the work week. Head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code JIMMY050 to get 50% off your first Factor box. Again, head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code JIMMY050 to get 50% off your first Factor box. Stay fed, and let's get back to the video.
What is up, everyone? As you guys know, the Case-Off AE86 has been a big build right now that we're all really pumped on, but we've been waiting for one thing for what feels like an eternity now, and that has been the Driveshaft. It runs, it idles, it sounds good. The car suspension basically all together, enough that we could drive it, but we're waiting on that one piece, Steve. What's that one piece, Steve?
The Driveshaft.
Yeah, there you go. So I got around so bad by so many Driveshaft companies, but I finally found one that did me right, and the Driveshaft is actually showing up today, which is earlier than expected. So what we have to do before we can get the Driveshaft and actually finally drive this thing is we got to get the diff back together. So if you guys remember, we previously took the diff apart and it was put together completely wrong. As you could tell, there was contacting areas, everything was out of whack, and well, before we could even get the car back on the road with the Driveshaft, we need to get the diff rebuilt and put back together. Is it something we can manage? I think so, but I've been waiting for a really good excuse to go visit my buddy Seamus, and today we're gonna go up to his shop and he's gonna teach us the proper way to reassemble a differential. So now in the future, we know exactly how it's done and we're good for it. You know, lead the horse to water. Or is that the saying?
Lead the horse to water.
Teach him how to drink.
Teach him how to drink.
He's gonna teach the horse how to drink. They know what I'm talking about. All right, whatever, let's hit the road. Damn it. Here we are, boys. Tailored Chassis Solutions. We've been here before. You guys have seen it. You guys saw Seamus. We bought the SCRX7 from him. Good friend of mine. Come on, Loopy. Look how cute he is with his new sledding. Oh, you're so cute. There's always a lot of cool stuff in here, so it's just a little dark. Today, sir. How's it going? Ready to do some diff things?
Yeah, dude.
Some different things.
Diff things.
So we'll do some B-roll, taking the environment. Should we cut to it now?
Cut to it?
Let's do it.
B-roll now?
Packing the Mac in the back of the ack.
Boom, we're assembling a diff. We're gonna learn how to do this today because as much as it seems like you could just kind of blast these things in there, there's a decent amount to it, especially if you want longevity and you don't want road noise. We have a whole new, we'll call it like rebuild kit from Toyota. Hopefully we have all the right stuff. Today we're gonna be putting this in there to spec.
I'm ready.
When it comes to building diffs, every diff is different, but they follow the same principles, right? Swapping out gear ratio, so your ring and pinion, is something that isn't talked about, I think, enough, right? Changing the gear ratio of your car. Not only does it change the way your power is delivered for like a street car, but even if you're trying to change your wheel speed for certain tracks and drifting. It seems a little intimidating. No one really ever talks about it, I feel like. Today we're talking about it, and we're gonna help you guys get right so you can get your drift car, road car, sport, whatever car you have, right. We're not gonna actually be modifying our diff just yet, right? We're not gonna be touching the insides of the LSD or our gears. We're not changing any of that. To be honest, we're doing this to get the car on the dyno. I'll be upgrading this really soon, but not soon enough. So today we are putting all new bearings in, all new seals, get it ready for the next time I swap out the actual core of the diff.
Dude, how many JDM cigarette smoking men have driven this car?
So the first step, Seamus, is removing the old bearing races from the diff, right? So this is actually what the bearings roll against. So let's clean this thing up. This thing works, dude. We're gonna get right after this thing, and well, we have all new bearings, which is great. Not always a necessity, these things end up lasting pretty long, but we're gonna press all these on and have a fresh slate.
Boing. We'll make it sound fancy and automatic.
So we got new bearings on the pinion and on the diff itself. Boom, nice OE this time. Nothing beats OE up. Before we knock in our pinion gear right here, we have to put in the new races for the bearings since we knocked them out. Perfect, there we go. New seat for the bearing. Now we can start to assemble this thing. So the first thing I talk about is this. This was the collar that everyone hounded me about in the video where I took this thing apart, right? Because I was talking about the tolerance of this thing being too great, right? It was too wide, which made the pinion gear too loose. Well, these things are supposed to crush into position. Most of them. They do sell solid ones where you actually have to shim it, but this is a crush style one where when we tighten it to torque spec, it'll actually get away that play that we had previously, right? What we're gonna do is we're gonna take this. This is all pre-lubed. Shove this thing up in there. We have our pre-looped bearing. It's gonna sit right there. Get it on.
What I'll do is I'll take like a socket.
To hold it up.
That's roughly the right height. You know, something like that or whatever. And then you also have, this is a sling washer. That goes there. And then your seal, and then the drive flange, and then the washer, and the nut.
We're gonna use this to seat the bearing.
Correct.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take our new oil seal here, which we definitely need a new one of. There. Maybe get it started just a little bit so it goes in straight. And boom, new seal. One slips on.
Yep.
Get it finger tight. Finger tight. Boom, so now we'll move. So the bearing itself isn't fully seated yet, so we're gonna have to tighten this down to actually seat the bearing.
And to set our pinion preload.
Yes.
So
that's where we get technical with it.
So we're gonna be pulling clockwise, so this is what we'll do.
Okay, if it works, it ain't stupid.
The assorted things over here. You can bleep that out.
You said the F word?
Yeah, dude.
You said
Dude, oh my god. I know.
How dare you say
I know that like your channel is very like Christian mingle and you want to make sure I'll be careful next time. I apologize.
Just long beep. We're clean.
I'm gonna start with
yeah, that's what my toolbox looks like. And mine looks the same.
I'm seeing your toolbox in the background and I'm just like,
yeah, but I make it work.
I get mad.
I make it work.
You do. My OCD goes crazy, but you do make it work. It's kind of incredible. You must think of how many lost 10 mils you have. You must have 50 10 mils hiding in that building.
A lot. We have a bin just for 10 mils.
Okay, I just felt it fatigue and crush, so we're pulling up the play now.
There we go. So the bearing is now seated, right, on the shaft. Now what we're doing is we're trying to crush that crush washer. Where is it? Does it have an extra one? Where is it? Right? We're trying to crush this thing to the perfect tolerance. We keep crushing it until it feels snug by hand.
To a certain degree.
To a certain degree.
There's a finesse to it.
There's a finesse to it.
The amount of
instruction manuals that...
The amount of instruction manuals that I've read versus the amount of diffs that I've built.
Just write a new manual.
It's like 0 and 100. Might refer to it for fun or whatever, just for sanity check, but...
Damn crush washer until all the play goes away.
Yeah.
Take a second to Peep my boys, Bubba Burger Snapback. Burger Snapback.
This is an exclusive.
I was looking at that earlier. That's sick.
That's rare.
It's super rare. They made like 10. So I was part of the Bubba Burger race team for touring car for SRO, Pro World Challenge, and only the team got these hats. They fit really nice, so I've worn them. I have like all the back stock.
Steve's impressed.
I rate the drip, the Bubba Burger Snapback.
Well, you got Steve's vote.
I knew I would.
Yeah,
He has fantastic taste. So,
but you don't feel the play by your hand, but since we have so much leverage, you could feel just a little bit of play.
So now we'll approach like 4 or 5 foot-pounds at a time until we get to a point where there's no play, and then we'll test that breakaway torque. Now there is like a factory measurement on that. You know what I mean? It's like 2 inch
we're doing the garage
like
special. Come on.
These
are just homeboys in the garage with
I did the
impact
garage
and some
special
hopes.
on Turk's Formula Supra, so I think this will be fine.
Bubba Burger spec.
Now the play's basically gone, so we're gonna add enough preload till we could feel a little bit of mechanical resistance.
Right. Literally the friction of your fingers moving this thing should feel like a couple inch-pounds.
Because look how nice this thing is right now, because it's on the loose side.
Right.
It's just like.
All right. This feels right. It'll also, plus if it feels too tight, sometimes what you can do is fucking run it in a little bit.
Especially all brand new everything.
Right, so now even like everything down to a 5/10,000th of an inch or to a 10,000th of an inch has fucking variation, right? So even though that they're a taper, they still need to be run in.
Cool.
Yeah.
So this thing is officially crushed to the right width. All right, we're past the I'll call it the easy part. Now it's actually time to the thinking part, the technical part, the part that takes finesse, the part that you can't just get an impact with you and your buddies and blast together. You probably can, but we're gonna, you know what I'm saying. This is the
easy part.
This is the easy part?
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Well, no, this is the finesse part.
Both of them. This you can measure. The other is feel. But both of them are kind of feel and vibe. It's all about vibe.
It's all about the vibe, bro.
You gotta vibe right in the diff, dude.
We can't just drop this thing in here and tighten it down. We gotta make sure that this gear engages properly with this gear. And how do we do that, you might ask? Surgically drop this thing in here. Put the cap on there. 7 Ooga-Doogas.
No! We'll put them on loose. And then the other hard part is because these caps can be reversed and may have accidentally been reversed at some point in their life, we'll make sure that the thread engages these two things appropriately so that we can preload.
That thing threads right into the cap and the diff housing itself.
Smart as shit.
Now this is all in place. We have to adjust the one thing that I was saying takes finesse, and that is backlash, right? So essentially what that is almost like the side-to-side position of the main gear right here to the pinion gear, right?
Yeah. So once these two are running well with each other, you're gonna paint these teeth up, and we're gonna add a little bit of resistance to this and run the pinion through its position, and we'll see what paint is pushed out of the way.
We're gonna use the paste to make sure we have a nice even bite, consistent even bite.
If you figure that this is the contact face of any tooth, right? You wanna be in the center this way and in the center this way. That means the most amount of surface area touching the center of the tooth where all the meat is. Teach your man to fish, and then he'll never come back.
Yeah, that's what I said before. Teach a horse to drink or something.
Teach a horse to drink, and they'll lead themselves to water.
We have what, 4 thou, 3 thou?
About 4 thou.
And what do we want?
I'm gonna set this thing up to be somewhere in the ballpark of 6 to 8. It's a clutch type. You're gonna whoop the shit out of it. Yeah, I mean it's gonna build up a bunch of heat.
If this was a road car, what would you leave it at though?
Probably 6.
6. Okay.
Yeah, 6. Too tight, everybody else knows it. Too loose, only you know it. If it's too tight, it's gonna blow up. It's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, not
if it's
good.
too loose, you might hear some noise or whatever, but the likelihood that you're gonna cause an issue that's catastrophic is pretty low. I always err on the side of loose.
How do we adjust that?
So we turn these discs in order to move the diff left and right. Now what we'll also wanna do is make sure that we're applying some preload as well between these two to make sure that there's no play in the diff, right? So we're taking up preload and then we're moving, you know, if we move this a half turn, we have to move this out half turn. But we need to first set our preload, then move the entire diff carrier in the direction that we want.
So make sure the two are snug together, and then you move them in sync.
Yeah.
Remember my first dial indicator, right, Steve?
That's right.
Remember your first dial indicator?
I remember that. That shit's crazy.
Ah, that's sick. That looks like 7 to me.
Yeah, it's walking a little bit, but max min, it looks like 7. So.
feels like 7.
Looks like 7.
So we got our diff paste right here.
Yeah. It's just really like thick paint mud.
Thick paint mud. And how should I go lightly, aggressively?
No.
Okay, give me the first one. Yeah, let's show.
Let me Bob Ross it for you. Look.
Yeah.
Let me just make these little happy little gear, man.
We got a section of the gears painted. And now we're gonna spin it to see how it engages on the pinion gear. It's like good engagement to me.
It's pretty good, yeah.
Not bad.
So see the cleanest edge right here? Right? The one with the least amount of paste. That's where you're getting the most contact pressure. And that's right in the middle of the tooth this way. And it's right in the middle of the tooth this way.
It's good, so it's not too tight, not too loose. Because if it's too loose, you're putting too much pressure on the edge of the gear, which is the weakest part.
Correct.
If it's too tight, then it could bind when it gets hot.
It would bind. Yeah, it would bind when it gets hot.
Look at that. We have new bearings and everything finally properly installed.
Yeah.
Look at that, boys. We know how to put a diff together the right way. We finally counted it in. It is a 4.3 gear ratio, which is awesome because we have an S2000 trans. S2000s have a 4.1 factory. And I really like to be a little bit more shift happy than most, which the 4.3 will make it a little bit shorter gears, which will make it a little bit more shift happy.
A lot of guys with S2000s with AP1 trans, which I think is what you have, they go to 4.4 final drives anyway.
Perfect.
So like this is money. Do you need somebody to tune that thing for you?
No, get out of here. I'll make that thing. I'll make you proud.
All right.
All right, now we lock it in since we're good to go.
There you go.
Look at that, that's the right tool. That's so funny. I always just get a flathead.
Well, Dad's always got the right tools.
Slip, get the flathead slip, hit your finger, you know.
Cut it, yeah.
And then we have these little pieces right here, so they don't spin, even like can't really physically spin, but just make us feel better when we sleep at night. Just like the factory in Japan. Good to go. Huge shout out to Seamus from Taylor Chassis Solutions. If you guys are in the, where are we? Worcester.
Worcester,
Massachusetts area. We'll put the link right here. Please hit them up. They literally do everything. Seamus is probably one of the smartest guys I know, and
he's good shit.
He's good shit. So we got the diff. It is in spec. It went a little bit easier than anticipated, but I hope you guys learned quite a few things here. Get the diff in, drive shaft in, and then what's that, Steve?
Really close to just driving that hoe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Drive shaft, diff, and we're out.
We're out.
Yeah, we're dipping.
We're dipping. We got an hour and a half drive back home. Let's hope Steve makes us there.
Oh, come on, man. He in good hands.
All right, it's the next day. DJ, exciting day.
Exciting day, exciting stuff. What are we doing?
Guess what came in?
I think a drive shaft.
Yes, the last piece of the 8.6. Well, the last piece to get it hopefully running and driving, or driving.
You drive it today.
Yes, oh yeah. So we got it all apart. I didn't even bother filming it. Me and Spoon just wanted to get this done. We got the brakes bled finally. I got the whole rear end back together. This thing feels awesome. Oh, it feels so good. Good rear ends, all fluids, everything's done. So we can get right to work because today, which is hopefully the title of the video, because it means it happened, first test drive in the 8.6. Big deal.
Big deal.
Huge deal.
Rings in the parking lot.
Donies.
Not yet. It's
Yeah.
untuned.
Yeah, see?
When you're a mechanic, you know how long you can go with your car broken or it's not an issue. As a tuner, I feel like I know how I could fudge enough where it's safe enough to do a donut untuned, you know?
Risk management.
This car has been ready for this for like basically a month now, but we've had a hard time getting a drive shaft. We got shafted by a lot of drive shaft companies. I don't know why they're so damn difficult, but we found one local and boom, here we go. And what's cool too is they had the S2000 flange in stock, which is usually very uncommon. Usually you have to run an adapter. We have the slip yoke actually built into the drive shaft itself since we have a solid rear axle. It's pretty cool, right? Bolt this thing up and get this thing on the ground, dude. It's been all morning. We've just been like,
I want to see this thing move under its own power.
oh, it's gonna happen. I got all the same issues as every other car guy, don't you worry. Just because we got a damn camera doesn't make it that much easier. Car rolls, mint, it's got on suspension, does all that. Now the brakes work, cool. The car idles, maintains operating temp. We've let the thing idle for like 2 hours one day. It's got a throttle cable, it's got a,
It revs up.
it revs up, it's got a shifter. So, now it's got a diff that's not smoked. Should be mint for a test drive.
Today?
It's gonna be right now. That's why I'm hyped. You hear me?
I said donuts in the parking lot. He seems skeptical.
Who's going for the first ride? Spoonington? Gotta be.
And there's no passenger seat, but cool. Get a towel or
Lay on the floor.
something. I've had the show for like 3 years now, which is crazy. We didn't touch it for years.
Bro, Steve posted the picture the other day of it sitting with the K-Series sitting on the floor.
Outside of it.
Bare
Good
as
picture.
hell.
And like, it's not, this is one build, like we usually try to like chug through builds. This one we like didn't really try to chug through, we just let it happen. It's crazy to think a car that I literally own nothing for but the shell is now about to be a running, driving car. Yeah, grease this thing up. Real greasy shaft.
Get it greased.
There we go.
What's that, cocoa butter?
You want some of this?
Nah.
It looks like caramel.
No.
Also, as you guys know, this thing is on a Link K-Series plug-and-play ECU, which utilizes the factory casing. We didn't have a factory ECU until now. We got a casing from a friend, and we put it in, and Spoon made a little Lexan window so you could just see the link board.
That's pretty fire.
It is pretty fire, right? It just needs a link sticker. Also made a bracket for the tuning cable, which I thought was super sneaky.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sneaky fab work.
That's cool, right?
Just click that in like your Xbox 360 with the ring of fire.
Stop. Wait, Donnie. I'll fix that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna warm up a little bit. Probably don't have the hood latch, so hood comes off for now.
Wiffle ball bat. Man.
Like that.
Got that thing with
Body fan right there. Also, Steve, this is the first time we get to feel the manual brakes, right?
Right.
We have Chase Bay's new dual piston manual brake setup, which we're really excited to try. It's a whole new system, and hopefully it fits the chassis perfectly. All right, so we're gonna do a no load test right now, just kind of go through some of the gears on the lift itself. So first time like engaging the clutch. And first gear didn't grind going in, that's a good start.
That's a good start. Yeah.
I don't know. From your side, there's a noise on that side.
Do it again. Something's up, bro.
You're with me. Suckers. I was like, Steve, I was like, Steve wouldn't know how bad that is.
I was overselling it.
He said that's up.
What you mean I wouldn't know? Student.
Who needs enemies when you got friends? We gotta adjust the throttle cable engagement because right now it's
Super aggressive.
It's super sensitive. It's gonna be really hard to drive, but we could change that. Where's the reverse? That's reverse. Oh.
No way! No way!
It's so weird, dude. I gotta bleed the brakes out. We bled them, but we gotta bleed them again. Yeah. But they stopped.
Oh, this car's so sick.
It's good to see it moving.
It feels so weird to be driving this thing.
That's so awesome.
Oh my god, this is wild. I've done this victory drive before, multiple times, but this car is just different. Oh my god. No glass? What an experience. It feels good too, you know, like you never know when you put different engines, different trans, all this stuff in cars. You never know how it's gonna feel, but this feels good.
That's so sick.
A little, Jim, give it a little.
Is it really rich?
Super rich.
I can tell.
Yeah.
I heard it from afar.
He came out the bushes, right? Where's that richness?
Sounds a little rich over here.
Well, it definitely needs some tuning, but we just drove the damn first drive. Feels good. A little rich, you know? So's Derek, he's rich, look at him.
I'm not rich, I'm poor. That's why I'm here hanging out with you guys.
No weird noises. That's a huge win.
It looks proper.
Yeah?
It looks right.
I like that.
Yeah, it looks good.
What's sick is like the S2000 trans, like it feels like it's the stock trans. It's not fast yet, but it'll be fast. Give me a day. Speaking of first drives,
Big Honda guys around here.
you look good in that thing, bro. DJ did a weekend paint job with his EK. It looks amazing.
It looks so good.
Insane, right?
Nice work.
Good old stuff and shoot.
Same. Yeah. Same. He goes, be careful, it's thick. E13. Doesn't get much faster than that. I like to think that it's ready for a dyno session. Why not? I mean, there's some issues you don't know until it's on the dyno, so we'll still figure that out. But next video, if everything goes to plan, we will be on the dyno, which is a big deal. The partial throttle stuff will take me a little while to figure out, but at least the full throttle stuff should be pretty quick. It should be an average dyno session. I guess our goal is to see what our peak power is tomorrow, right? It's gonna take me a little bit to get the, you know, the flow of it, but we'll get this thing right. I'm actually really excited to tune it. I think, actually, I'd love to hear your guesses now. Right?
We all taking bets?
You want to take beds?
333.
No, DJ, don't ruin that for me.
Let him. It's his bet.
Going on a dyno jet, which is good for low torque setups like this, right? Momentum dyno. It's a Pro 156 head, drag cartel 3.2s, 67 Kinslers, stock A2 bottom end. It's like such a classic recipe. We're probably gonna leave it on pump E. Why not? You're not gonna really get any better. Whatever. I'm gonna say 278.
Close. I had 282 on my head.
Okay.
I had 284.
So we've seen very similar subs in front wheel drive setups. I'm curious to see how it responds in a rear wheel drive format. Like, is there more loss? Is there more drivetrain loss in it?
I know what this will make in a front wheel drive car. Yeah. This will make close to 300, if not 300, all day long.
Kenny's dyno. I don't think there's any dyno in the world that has that many K series tunes on it. By Jamie, especially they're all Jamie tunes on this dyno. And he does 7 K series in one day over the course of what, the last 5 years. So there is something on there that we can have compare. We have a lot of comparable data, which would be really cool. That's why I'm really happy to use Kenny's data for this.
That's cool.
What's the wager?
You want to put something on it? Dinner? I like dinner. Either way, I'm gonna pay for dinner. But
I was gonna say first person that gets to do a donut in it.
Ooh. Okay.
269. 333. I was shooting high.
269.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay.
Okay, so we're doing Prices Right stuff.
Who's ever closest?
But we're so close.
Yeah, what if it's
What are you?
283?
Exactly.
What are you?
He's 282, I'm 284.
Doesn't matter. You guys will Rochambeau it out or something. Sweet. We'll cross that bridge.
I'll control the pedals and you just do the steering wheel.
I'm behind the keyboard, so fuck you guys. But we're gonna end it for now. Get ahead of ourselves for tomorrow. We got some things to button up. But so I hope you guys liked today's video. We had a great time earlier in the video with Seamus at Tailored Chassis Solutions. Please go to his Instagram right here and do me a favor and just comment thank you for me. He was a huge help and we learned a lot. And it was a good day. The goat.
It's the goat. Bah.
You know? Do it, DJ.
Bah. Bah.
But whatever. Like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more content. Spoon.
Have a good night.
It's sad because I